Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejas vinavaditamastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena
Devan bhavayatanena
te deva bhavayantu vaha
te deva bhavayantu vaha
parasparam bhavayantaha
parasparam bhavayantaha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Shreya paramavapsyatha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yo bhungte stena eva saha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Yajna shishtashinah santaha
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Ye pachantyatmakaranat
Annad bhavanti bhutani
अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञाद् भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing some dimensions of the consequences of the Rajasic approach towards the principle of Parasparam. And he says the consequence is that that person will eat sin. It's put in a poetic way. It means that that person will attract papaha. The word used is papaha. Now, what is interesting is, when he was talking about the tamasic approach in the previous verse, that is verse number 12, he said one who eats without producing, that is, who just wants to take but does not want to give anything in return, who does not want to contribute anything in his life, but he just takes a shortcut, he doesn't mind harming others, and he wants to take away whatever belongs to others, and he wants to enjoy. That is a highly tamasic approach. Now, he said such a person is called a stena. He is indeed a thief. He left it at that. Whereas, when it comes to the Rajasic approach, and also of course the Sattvic approach, he gives the consequences. Like with respect to the Rajasic approach, he says, those impure ones, agham, who cook for the sake of themselves, atma karanat pachanti, what happens to them? They eat sin. Bhunjate papaha. So he is giving the consequence. Similarly, when we see the Sattvic also, which we will be doing next, in that also he says the virtuous who eat the remnants of sacrifice are freed from all faults. Sarva kilbishaihi muchyante, completely freed from all kinds of faults. So there also he is giving the consequences. So why is it that he is mentioning the consequences of Rajas and Sattva, whereas he has not given the consequences of Tamas? Now, it's not that he has not given the consequences. See, the moment he says that such a person is indeed a stena, thief, you yourself think, what are the consequences of being a thief? We'll take it literally, in society. What are the consequences? The consequences, the possibilities, first of all, that is extremely dangerous. It is so dangerous that he does not even talk about it. He almost says, we can't do anything, we just have to wait till that person overcomes the tamas and comes to at least the rajas, Like if a person, let's say a student is appearing for an examination. Now, if the student comes out with flying colors, you will say, this is good, you can apply here, you can apply there, you will get this, get that. If a person is mediocre in the performance, that is rajas, then also you will discuss about what are all the possibilities, where all he can apply, all that. Supposing a person has failed miserably, not only he is not in the borderline or anything, just for argument's sake, let's say a person gets 1 mark out of 100. You may wonder whether it's practically possible, but I myself have seen that. When I was in school, I'm talking of way back, probably 35 years back. There was a boy, we were in our 5th standard or 7th standard, sir. There was this boy who scored half out of 50. And so the paper was for 50 marks in mathematics. He scored half. And so when you take for 100, it was 1. Now what was interesting is, the maths teacher, when she came, she distributed the answer papers to everybody, and she called those people who had missed out, like who had scored between 45 and 50, and she pointed out all the mistakes they had made. See, you made this mistake, you should correct that. It's easy for you, you come so close, why can't you get 50 on 50? Anyway, you're studying, you're writing, so you might as well get the maximum, no, because you have the potential. Then she went to the next grade, that is who had scored below 45 out of 50. She started off from around 20 to 25. And then even those people who had not even scored 20, that also, for them also she had a special advice. She said, see, you should first put some effort to at least get to the pass level. Then you can improve further. But what was interesting is, to this boy who had scored half, she said, she read out his name and said, you got half. She didn't say anything. She didn't give him any advice. She just gave him the answer paper, and he was waiting. We were also waiting to see what she is going to say. She just said, you take the paper and go. She was so fed up with his efforts that she said there is no use giving him any tips. Now, this is something which is very interesting. To those people who had scored 45, she gave a lot of tips. One boy, he had scored 49. Now she even spoke in a little harsh tone to him. How can you make such a silly mistake and all that? As if he had failed miserably. As the marks were lowering, the harshness in her tone was decreasing. To a person who had failed, who had scored less than 20, she was saying to those boys and girls that you need to put an effort. She was motivating. To those people who were in the top notch, she was quite harsh, picking on small mistakes. But when it came to this boy who had scored just half out of 50, she just didn't give any advice. She was quiet. You take the paper and go. Why is that? When a person is at the top notch, first of all, that person can take the harshness. The correction is very easy. So what she's saying is, you have so much of potential, you've come so near, how foolish it is, you've missed it, So don't do that. Focus a little more and complete things properly. A person who was mediocre, she was motivating, she was saying you can put more effort and all that. But to this boy, she said no use. Unless he puts more efforts and comes to at least around 20 or a little less than 20, there was no point talking to him, because if a person is getting half out of 50, that means that boy hasn't put in any effort. Which was true, because we all studied together, so he never used to focus either in the class or at home. It is the same thing. Now we can see Krishna is also, same stance which Krishna is also taking. When it comes to tamas, he says such a person is indeed a stenaha, thief. He is leaving the consequences for us to understand. See, just imagine that boy who scored half out of 15, 1 out of 100. Now, what will be the consequence if he is going to consistently score like that? It's obvious the consequences are going to be negative. Extreme problems he would face. There is no doubt about it. It's the same thing with tamas also. If a person is completely enmeshed in tamas, the consequences will be deadly. So deadly that there is no point talking about it. It's understood. Correction becomes extremely difficult. What tips can you give to that boy? Whereas, when it comes to rajas, which is mediocre performance, we can motivate. We can give a lot of tips. That is what he's doing. Listen, you're putting in so much of effort, but what you're creating is only papaha, sin. I told you, philosophically, from the highest standpoint, the basic papaha is to get disconnected from the infinite. So to move away from that state of peace into a state of agitations. So papaha from the highest standpoint means agitations, stress, unhappiness, sorrow, fluctuations, the ups and downs of the mind, good moods and bad moods, all that belongs to papaha. It's a spiritual sin, we can say. That is further enhanced when it comes to sattva. We will see that later. So, when it comes to rajas, she is saying, see, you're putting so much of effort, but you are not hitting the mark. That's what the teacher said. I am equating the tamas, rajas, sattva to that example. This is the boy who got half, extreme tamas. Mediocre students, we can equate them to rajas. The top notch, we can equate them to sattva. So you can give advice to a sattvic person, subtle advice. You can even be harsh to a sattvic person. The person will not get affected. A student who is sattvic will not get affected if a guru is harsh to him, because he knows it's only for his good. He will only look at the point, and this is the point which my master is telling me, I will keep correcting. A person who is rajasic, he will get hurt when the guru is harsh. Sometimes the master has to be harsh, but it's more of a motivation which the master gives. But if a person is very tamasic, one of the two things, either the master does not give any advice, the Guru Shakti withdraws. The reason is not that it wants to withdraw, because the person is not receiving anything, and the master waits till he overcomes the tamas and comes into the rajasic state. Or if at all a person is very highly tamasic, but little bit of rajas or sattva makes him seek advice, the master will be extremely harsh, because in order to break a stone you need to use a lot of force. So when a master is harsh to a sattvic student, that harshness will be different. When the master is harsh to a rajasic student, that will be different. Harsh means what? Being very direct. Let us put it that way. It's not that all the time now the master will be harsh or anything. But if the same master, when he is being direct to a tamasic student, predominantly tamasic student, now that will be like real hitting. Otherwise, that stone of ignorance cannot be broken. So that is what we are seeing here. When it comes to tamas, he uses a very strong word, stenaha. When it comes to rajas, he says agham. He has toned it down. And when it comes to sattva, he says santaha. That is very inspiring. So the fact that the master gives an advice to a student, it means the student is not at a very low level. There is some potential. Without that potential, no master will waste his time in giving advice to the student. See, you cannot change, for example, a donkey into a horse, but you can make a slow moving horse run fast. That is a work of a master. I mean, this example may again sound very harsh, but it drives home the point. Please take the point. And now don't say, sir, donkey, horse, don't get involved in that part, you know. This is actually a quote by a great thinker. I thought that was fitting in very well, you know. So whenever you're getting some guidance from the Guru Shakti, it's a very positive thing. It means you're showing willingness to change. You're showing that willingness to put an effort. So you should grab that opportunity and move to the next level. And it is said by the yogis that when the student is ready, the Guru will appear. Now, what does it mean? It's all up to the student. if he or she generates the right kind of energy, automatically that will attract the Guru Shakti. It is just a law of demand and supply. Where there is demand, there will be supply. This is a law. So he uses the word papaha with respect to rajas, but if you remember, I hope you remember, in the previous verse when we were talking about stenaha, I mentioned about papaha for tamas, even though he had not directly mentioned. But he has put it in rajas. Now, with respect to tamas, that is extreme sin, extreme papaha. That's why he is not even talking about it. Here, it is papaha or sin which can be dealt with some effort. So, one dimension is papaha means sin or evil, negativity. So, negative means, see, there are various ways of looking at it. The first way how people will look at papaha, something which is evil or sin, is in terms of selfishness, or in that is from the standpoint of morality and ethics. That is also included. What is morally wrong? When you harm another person, that is considered to be a sin. It is very difficult to categorize something and say this is papaha. So many factors have to be considered, the context, the intentions, so many things. Whenever you are harming another person, remember you are committing a sin. Harm means, you may say, sir, I don't go and hit anybody. That is physically harming. Harming in any way. Supposing you talk ill of a person, just for the sake of it. See, when a master corrects a student, he is pointing out the fault. But it is not that he is talking ill of the student. He is not branding the student. That is different. But generally, what do? We sit and gossip. Haven't you seen many conversations? They just simply keep gossiping. Gossip means what? Talking about the negativities of others. Now, whenever you are talking ill about another person, what are you doing? You are harming that person's reputation. That is one kind of harm only. I am explaining to you the meaning of papaha from the viewpoint of morality and ethics. That is also so important for spiritual growth. Then, of course, when you are physically harming someone, that is very clear. You may harm someone financially also. When you are cheating someone, that is one way of harming. When you generate a negative emotion towards others, it is emotional harming. When you manifest it, that is at one level. But even if you don't manifest it, you are just having those negative emotions, it is still harming the other person, because emotions and thoughts, they are all forms of energies. So what you are generating from you and sending to the other person is negative, is harmful. So that is one way of harming. The subtlety is increasing. Then when you have a negative thought about another person, that is harming another person at the thought level, intellectually harming. So when we are talking of sin, from a moral, ethical point of view, if you are trying to harm someone, either verbally or at the action level or at the emotional level. When I say action level, it could be financial level, all the externalities are included, okay. Then emotional level or at the thought level, then you are acquiring papaha. We did see, a Rajasic person starts off well, but then when he faces obstacles, he resorts to unrighteous means. And the moment he resorts to unrighteous means, he will not hesitate to cause harm to others. That is the whole problem. As I told you, a tamasic person, we are not even discussing that case, because right from beginning, it is he is creating papaha, even from a moral point of view. That's why in the 18th chapter, when he talks of tamasic happiness, he says that which is delusive of the self right from beginning, that is tamasic happiness. He doesn't give a direct definition. When it comes to sattvic happiness and rajasic happiness, he defines clearly. In tamas, he just says delusive of the self right from beginning. So the opposite of papaha, that also I am giving you, is punya, which the sattvic people keep on accumulating. They are called santaha, the virtuous ones. So from a moral point of view, what is punya? Just the opposite of papaha. Whenever you do something good to another person. So here, whenever you do harm to another person, that is papaha. Here, whenever you do something good to another person, that comes back to you. That goodness comes back to you. It multiplies and comes back to you. And that consequence, that effect is what the yogis call as punya. So what are the different ways by which you can do good to others? Again, we'll see. Verbally you can do good to others when you're speaking. You can help others achieve their goals instead of putting them down. All those encouraging words can be used. You can motivate others. Now, when you do that, you are actually doing good to others. That is your attempt. So, what you will acquire is punya. Similarly, at the action level, you can be very kind. Kindness, here it is being harmful to others. The opposite of being harmful to others is being kind. Kind in words, kind in actions, kind in emotions, and kind at the thought level also. Financially, you can help others grow. You can give ideas. See, there are so many ways of doing good to others. See, when we talk of verbal, it is both verbal and non-verbal communication. When you meet someone, even if you give your smile, which is what a yogi does, even if a yogi does not actually smile with the lips, if you see his eyes, they will always be smiling, there will be that love, So you can give happiness to others, you can wish them well, and then comes the emotional part, kind emotions. When another person prospers, you genuinely feel so happy. I wish you all the best. You should prosper more. See, that is so difficult, especially in those areas where you have unfulfilled desires. When somebody else gets that, immediately that jealousy will come. I want you to do some self-examination and observe all this. See, actually every Sunday whatever is being given to you is more than enough for you to create a complete self-transformation. You have to take these points and personalize them. Whatever inspires you, you need to start thinking about that. That's called manana, reflection. How is it applicable to me? How can I apply it in my life? And even throughout the day, whenever you get spare time, you can keep thinking on whatever points which have appealed to you. Then the growth will be very fast. So kindness in emotion, accommodating others in your life mentally. Then kindness at the thought level. The opposite of that we saw, harmful thoughts. Here, kind thoughts. Let that person be well. Let that person grow. Let that person prosper. See, sometimes I've seen when couples come for the sadhana, what happens is either the wife or husband, they have a great experience during the meditation. And let's say, for example, the wife says, "Sir, I had this, it was so divine," and all that. When I look at the husband, sometimes I can see that a little bit of that competitiveness, that jealousy is there. Vice versa also, it can be between, for the wife also. So, between partners themselves, if there is this competition, then what about others? So, you have to practice all this with respect to your immediate family. If you are wishing good to others, then you will not be harsh, you will not be unnecessarily, you will not get unnecessarily angry. I am deliberately using the word harsh again here. Initially, when I was telling about a master, I was saying how sometimes a master can be harsh to train a student. That is totally different. That is like, when you go to the gym and you want to build your muscles, a person goes to the gym. Now the trainer will increase the challenges. So today, if that person is very comfortable with certain quantity of weights, he will next day come and increase the weights. That will amount to increasing the pain when the person is doing those exercises. But the motive of the trainer is not to inflict pain. It is to make that person stronger. That is that harshness which a master shows. It's actually not harshness. That is also kindness only. Because the intention is to uplift the student, and this is only a methodology. He is making the student strong. But here when I am saying you shouldn't be harsh, it is, see, generally what happens is you have a lot of anger, frustration, all that. So you just offload it on the other person. So if you are doing that a lot today, remember what you will attract to yourself is papaha, sin. You will only get stressed. You will get agitated. Everything which we give bounces and it comes back to us. So through sadhana, you need to release all these negative factors, the anger, the frustrations, the complaints which you have built in your life, all that have to be released. And then you should also practice being kind, first to your near and dear ones. I'm not saying immediately now you should achieve it 100%. You make a start and don't really worry if there's a slip. You may slip, you may fall even 100 times, it does not matter. The intention of being kind will ultimately help you in your sadhana. So the whole sadhana which we are doing is to do good to the world. We later on in one of the verses he'll be saying that Loka Sangraha, function for the sake of the welfare of the entire Loka, not even humanity, he goes beyond humanity. All the different forms of existences are there in different dimensions. Lokaha means dimension actually. It is, you should wish for the welfare of everyone, every creature, everything. That is a very high level. From where do you start? From your near and dear ones, from your immediate family. And even before your family, comes oneself. That is, you should first be kind to yourself. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Sometimes, when you criticize yourself, when you're to that point where you're losing all your confidence, you're not doing good to yourself. If you can't do good to yourself, how can you do good to others? So, from inside, this emotion of kindness should be built inside, and then that should be spread to your family, to your society, to your country, to the whole world, and then comes that Loka Sangraha, to the entire universe. You will keep on developing. It's a progressive change when you keep on doing sadhana. From an ordinary human being, you can raise yourself to the state of being a God person, godly person, a divine personality. So, papaha, I've also given you the opposite, punyaha. So, a sattvic person keeps on acquiring punya. This is like a bank account, Papaha is something like a debit, negative bank balance. The punyaha is something like a credit. It makes your bank balance positive. So when you go on acquiring punya, now you will become a very rich person spiritually. Here we are talking of, from a spiritual point of view. So this is from a moral, ethical point of view. There is no other thing in morality or ethics. Whenever your intention is to harm someone, not only a human being, even other creatures, when you are harming another creature for a self pleasure, that is definitely a papaha, sin. So we should try to minimize it. See, physically it is not possible to be 100% non-violent. Even if you boil water, you are killing a lot of organisms. Even if you are talking, you are killing many microorganisms. When we are eating food, we are to a certain extent causing harm to those plants. We can't avoid that. That is for sustenance. But for our self-pleasure, when we start harming, see, some people I know, I have actually seen this. When they walk in a garden, when they see a flower, for no reason, just because they are thinking somewhere, and they just go and they pluck the flower and do like this and they destroy it. what sort of a state is that? You just imagine, the flower is blooming. If you pluck it, because that is the final stage, after that is a fruit, but many plants don't give the flower, but to pluck it and destroy it. So in what our yogis used to do is, those flowers used to be plucked with a lot of respect, and they used to offer it to God. That bhavana is different. But best is, why plucking, not plucking and all that. First is that love, whether it is plants or whether it is animals or whether it is human beings. A stage will come where, Swami Ramatita, it is said that he used to treat even the so-called inanimate objects with a lot of care and respect. The pen which he used to use for writing, he used to take so much of care. He used to handle it with care. And when someone asked him, he said, he's supposed to have said, it is this pen who has helped me to write so many things. Look at that attitude. So take that inspiration from these great masters and start practicing this kindness in your life from this moment onwards. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't think that now you should become a Buddha immediately and 100% kind. It will not work like that. Whatever level you are in, from there you make a start, and day by day, go on improving. So that is the meaning of sin or evil from a moral point of view. Then, from a general point of view, sin or evil means negativity. Anything which pulls you down, anything which pulls a person down, that is negative. Anything which uplifts a person is positive. See, many a times what happens is, you would not exactly want to hurt the other person, but what you're saying or what you're doing may pull another person's spirits down. For example, let's say you exhibit a lot of fear to another person. Say a person is going to drive a car, he's going on a long drive. Hey, be very careful, huh? Don't have, there's so many accidents I've heard, so when you're going in the highway, be extremely cautious. You should be very careful in case there's an accident, avoid accident. Now, what is your intention? Your intention is actually to do good only, but the methodology which you're using is so wrong, because you're giving that other person your fear, the emotion of fear that is being transferred to the other person. Will that help the other person or give the other person confidence? You think about it. Spreading all sorrowful news. See, today the social media is so active. I know some people, every day they have their friends list, all the social media, every day they pick all the traumatic incidents which happen around the world. See, every moment there will be a death, there will be a birth also. That's how life is. There will be some negative things happening, there will be some positive things happening. What many people do is they will search for all those negative things. Unconnected place, some place which is on the other side of the world. You know what happened there? That person, he met with an accident and his arm got broken, something like that, gruesome action, and then they will forward it to all their friends. whoever is there in the friends list. And early morning when you get that message, already you're having so many problems. Early morning. Now what happened in this part of the world? One robbery. What happened in this part of the world? This fellow has cheated. This is what you're going to get exposed to. What's actually happening? Your energies are being pulled down. So if you are instrumental in pulling down other people's energy, that is also papa. You're creating a sin only. Even though you're not intentionally trying to harm the other person, because you are caught up in that pessimistic approach to life, you pass it on to others. Being pessimistic is one way you can pull down all the energies of the other person. Like there are some people, you go and tell them anything. Idallam nadakuma, means all these things, will it really happen? Even when it comes to spirituality, you tell them every Sunday, it's like a recharge, how you recharge your cell every day. Similarly, the Yoga Sankirtan, you have to recharge every day, then every Sunday, powerfully you can charge yourself. All this is fine, but do you really think all this will work? The way they say it itself, all your enthusiasm will go away. So that is also negative only. So sin from a moral point of view is one thing. When we don't look at it exactly from a moral or ethical point of view, still those kinds of inputs which you are giving to others, which pull them down, that is also considered papa. So you have to do an examination of how you're talking, how you're behaving. Sometimes when you look at a person's expression, so depressing that you will get depressed. Why? No, not because something has gone wrong in that person's life. It's become habitual. Instead, wish other people in a positive way. Have a wonderful day. That should be your way of functioning. When you come across positive news, spread that to others. See, we can overcome negative only by spreading positive, not by spreading more and more negative news. And nobody even checks whether that news is correct or whether it's factually correct or not and all that. Anything which comes, you just immediately share it with others. It should not be like that. You should think, you should use your intellect. What am I sending? What kind of effect will it have on the other person? So your conversations, your behavior, your emotions, your thoughts, are they weakening others or are they giving strength to others? When you go to a yogi will give you a lot of strength. See, just imagine, every Sunday you're very enthusiastically coming and you're attending these sessions. Why? Because they are filling you with a lot of positivity, right? I hope you'll say yes. that is the whole idea. Just imagine, supposing every Sunday you come. Now I come like with this expression. And then I talk to you. What is there in life? All of us are going to die one day. There are some people who talk like this in the name of spirituality, Anyway, you're going to die. Whole world is going to come to an end. There are some so-called spiritual experts. And I have seen these spiritual experts predict the end of the world periodically, every few years they'll say this date, the world is going to end. See, if the world, okay, let us assume the world is going to end. Why talk about it now and make this moment miserable? When it ends, it ends. No, everybody goes. The habit, the tendency of, talking in a very negative way, that should be avoided. Whereas when you all come and when I wish you, Hari Om, have a wonderful day, when that is told, how positive it is. You should absorb that positive energy and make it a habit in your life. You see, our scriptures are all very, very, they infuse a lot of positive energy. If at all they talk about faults and certain things which can pull you down, that is only as a caution, because you should know where the pits are so that you don't go and fall into them. But they will always give you solutions. A true yogi, a true master will not be problem oriented. He will explain a problem only to get to a solution. He will be solution oriented. So start spreading positivity from this moment onwards. That is the greatest service you can do to humanity. Spreading positive energy. Because you have this deadly weapon with you, that is your cell phone and social media. They are more deadly than what is mentioned in the Mahabharat war, Brahmastra and all that. The social media and the cell phones and other gadgets which we are having today, they are the greatest weapons. They have to be used very carefully. Use the same gadgets to spread positivity. I am not saying now you should become old fashioned and throw away all your cell phones. No, that is impractical. Spread positive things, no? Where you are attending these Sunday sessions, that is helping you so much. Now send that link to as many people as possible. Even supposing you send a link to 1,000 people. Let's say just one person picks it up and starts attending this. That's a big thing, no? Because now in the yogic approach, our quality is so high. We are not into merely entertaining people. No yogi will do that. So it takes a while for a person to get into the depth of it. But out of 1,000 people whom you have tried, even if one person gets into this and his or her life changes, that's wonderful, no? Irrespective of whether the other person takes it up or not, your intention is to spread positivity. That's what we are talking about here. So that is sin or evil. I mentioned from both the moral, ethical point of view and from a general point of view. Then we also saw inauspiciousness. Papaha means inauspicious. So how do you make your life auspicious? By creating that auspicious energy within you, the energy pattern within you. Your energy pattern is determined by your thoughts, emotions primarily. So when you do the sadhana every day, when you receive the healing from the master, now he is sending you that higher healing Shakti. That is called Sanjeevani Shakti. Sanjeevani means life-giving energy. You would have read in the Ramayana, that Hanuman carried the Sanjeevani. That is only a gross manifestation. That Sanjeevani Vidya is a subtle science of the Siddhas, the secret of the Siddhas. So, true masters who have done tapas get access to that Shakti, and then they use that to heal others. It's wrong to say they heal. It is a Shakti which heals. They are just intermediaries, because that is also ego to say I heal. It's wrong. It is the higher Shakti which heals. So when you receive that Shakti, what happens? That fills you with so much of positive energy. It changes your energy pattern to that of auspicious energy. And once your energy pattern becomes auspicious, then what happens? That is the next dimension, which I didn't mention last week, but now I'm mentioning it to you. Papaha also means bad fortune, misfortune. So when your energy pattern is that of inauspiciousness, what will that lead to? It will lead to all kinds of problems externally, misfortunes. We say bad luck, no? Luck is not external. You create your luck. You are the creator of your destiny. You are the creator of your life. So the opposite is punya. Punya creates an auspicious energy pattern. And what is the outcome of auspiciousness? It is good fortune. You can say good luck. Luck is not by chance. It is your own creation. There is actually nothing called luck. It is all your creation only. You have infinite powers within you. They are all lying dormant. And through these sessions, through the personal sadhana which you're doing, through the empowerment programs, we are trying to help you awaken those dormant powers with which you can start creating your own life. So when you create good fortune for yourself and for others, that is a wonderful thing. That is great seva which you can do. See, we are in the chapter of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga essentially means seva, doing seva to the world. That starts from changing your energy pattern from within first. So a rajasic person creates papaha, means sin, evil, morality, moral, ethical point of view and general negativity, then inauspiciousness, which leads to misfortune or bad results, we can say, negative results. A sattvic person creates a lot of punya. Now when you create a lot of punya, you will do good to others. You will uplift others. You will help others. Not only that, you will create the energy of auspiciousness within you. And that will lead to good fortune for yourself and for others. This is what is a fact of life. So how beautifully he says, those impure ones who cook for Atma Karanat, for the sake of themselves, they eat sin. So the starting point is Atma Karanat, feeding your ego. Here Atman means that individual self which leads to ego. Self-interest at the cost of others. Taking care of yourself is a necessary part of sadhana, loving yourself, being kind to yourself. But taking care of yourself at the cost of another person, by harming another person, that is dangerous. So Atma Karanat means self-interest at the cost of others. You should understand it correctly, because if you misunderstand it, you will think just wanting good things in life itself is selfishness. No, if you want to experience good things, it's definitely not selfishness. If you acquire wealth, is it right or wrong? Many people have asked me this. Sir, I want to become wealthy. Am I being selfish? No. When you acquire wealth, how are you going to use it? First of all, are you a slave to wealth or not? Or are you a master? Are you using that wealth to do good to yourself and others? Then that becomes positive, no? If acquiring wealth is negative, wealth is in many forms, no? Knowledge is also wealth only. Then acquiring knowledge also becomes negative. Acquiring anything will become negative. Then what for are you living in this world? So these are all wrong concepts which are spread in the name of spirituality. Pseudo spiritual people, they come and spread these wrong messages. That is not what has been given in our Vedas and all the scriptures and the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita says you should acquire and enjoy your life and also help others acquire and enjoy. Do good to yourself and others. That is what is true spirituality. So, a Rajasic person, he eats sin. He puts in so much of effort, but what is the result? Agitation, stress, unhappiness, mind is constantly fluctuating, and negativity, inauspiciousness, which leads to bad fortune. So, as a sadhak, from this moment onwards, understand that your life is like an accounts book. This side you have the debits, this page you have the credits. Every minute of your life, you are either creating a debit or a credit, either a papaha or punya. When I say every minute, because you are acting, no, every minute, either you are thinking or feeling or acting or speaking, something you are doing. Now, you should bring that awareness. See, this has been given in a very powerful way to you. Now it may hit you very hard. It may even cause a little bit of disturbance and fear. I wonder if that means every minute am I now acquiring papaha? It's not like that. You are doing both only. Now, earlier you were not aware of many things. Now that awareness is being increased by giving you this wisdom. Not to get bogged down by this. Once the awareness increases, now consciously you should start making more credits in your life. This works with more mathematical precision than even the accounts of financial books, I am telling you. The law of karma is infallible. And what is interesting is when you have a very positive bank balance, a lot of savings, let's say you go to some other place, suddenly you are short of some money, there is a money shortage. You can access your bank from anywhere and you can withdraw money and you can use that. It's the same thing with respect to law of karma also. A yogi is always secure because if at all some problem comes in his life because of the past, he has accumulated a lot of credits, punya. So it doesn't matter where he is or what is he doing. He can always access that and encash them and the problem gets solved. So that's why a true yogi, even though he may have a lot of things, he may not have a lot of things. A yogi may be not having any money, or a yogi may be very rich. All these things do not matter. One thing is for sure, he will be very secure, because he knows his spiritual accounts are very positive. He has created a lot of credits. Whereas a non-yogi, he may be poor or he may be rich. All these things do not matter, but he will always be insecure. And he doesn't even know why he is insecure. It's because too many debits are there in the spiritual accounts. So now, as a sadhak, start creating more credits. When you interact with your family members, start practicing more kindness. You will not become a master in one day. Don't, if you get angry now, don't stop being so hard, stop being harsh to yourself. Oh, I got angry, I got upset. And that's not the spirit. Release that anger during your sadhana. Keep on trying. It is practice which will make you perfect. Every yogi, it is by sheer practice, by doing the tapas, doing the sadhana internally, that that person has become a yogi. And you can also do the same thing. But it doesn't happen in one day. It's a process. Are you putting the right kind of efforts? That is the question. So if you're getting a lot of negative results in life, it means in a particular area, it means there are more debits in that area. You know, in the earlier verses I was telling you about karmic debits and karmic surplus. No? Now, I told you that time, we will be getting into more detail about it in this verse. This is what it is. With this understanding of papaha and punya, now you will be able to understand the karmic debts and karmic surpluses with more depth. So through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your words, speech, through your behavior and actions, you are creating your karmas. Either karmic debts, that is debits, or credits, karmic surplus, which is punya. So when you do your daily sadhana, that is actually, what is it doing? Have you ever understood the real purpose of the sadhana which you are being asked to do on a daily basis? Every day when you, even one session when you sit for your sadhana, two things are happening. You are burning up all the debits and you are increasing the potential for credits by filling yourself with that higher Shakti. Every Sunday when you are attending this, don't think this is just a mere lecture session, discourse. No. A lot of healing energy is being given to you. That is why, once you get glued to this, you don't even feel the passage of time. The Nididhyasana meditation, so much of healing is being given to you. Why? Through this healing Shakti, your debits can be burnt up. That is the help which is being given to you. You are so fortunate, receive it with full happiness and gratitude. And the positive energy is being filled so that you can increase your credits in life. Similarly, when you attend the empowerment sessions, it's the same thing, burning up of the debits and increasing your credits, but at a much higher pace. Personal sadhana, let's say 1 full year you're doing sadhana. One empowerment session is enough to give you so much of energy, which will have the effect of 1 full year's sadhana, personal sadhana. So when so much of help is being given, the sadhana materials have been created, they are, and more and more will keep coming, they are all being provided to you. All you have to do is to feel happy, grateful, and just be a little disciplined. Attend the Sunday discourses with full enthusiasm every week. Do your daily sadhana every day. Don't miss that. And attend the empowerment programs whenever that opportunity comes. If you do all this, it's just a question of time. Your debits will all be removed. A very positive bank balance will be created. That bank balance of punya, the credits, is very conducive to go deeper, that is to go into advanced levels of meditation. And when you use that to calm your mind, and when the Guru gives you the higher initiations, the higher empowerments, and you become one with the infinite, then you go beyond papaha and punya. That is called the state of kaivalya. Kaivalya mukti, they say, direct liberation. So krama mukti means liberation in stages. Everybody has to go through the krama, the stages, and then finally comes the kaivalya mukti. Some people think either you take the path of krama mukti or kaivalya mukti. It's not like that. When you are at a lower stage, you will have to progress step by step. That is called krama mukti. You are getting liberated from the previous level. And then when you are ready, comes the kaivalya mukti, which is total liberation from all finiteness, and you become one with the infinite. You go beyond papaha and punyaha. You can say that is infinite punya. Infinite cannot be defined. That's why we say it is beyond papaha and punya. That is the state of being a sthita prajna. All masters experience that. Okay, so today a lot of depth has been added to what was given to you in the previous weeks. This will help you to gain the wisdom in a deep way. So now we will do the Nididhyasana meditation. Before that, I will take up one question. So I am directly going to the question here. If someone close goes through a serious disease, I find that often they are frustrated because they don't know why it is happening to them. So my question is it really possible to locate the karmic debts that caused a particular disease? Your explanations here and there suggest that the root cause for a disease may not be obvious. Example, it could be due to an issue at a deeper layer. Is consistent sadhana the only way to arrive at an answer? Pranams. It's a very good question which he has asked. That is so relevant because just now we were talking about karmic debts and the debits, credits and all that. This question is related to that. That's why I am taking it up here. See, whenever somebody goes through a disease or whenever somebody is healthy or anything which happens in life, it is because of karmas only. So again, karmas doesn't mean that person has necessarily done something morally wrong. This is what is a misunderstanding. See, some people ask, no, why is it that good people suffer and bad people are enjoying? That statement itself is wrong. It's not that all good people are suffering and all bad people are enjoying. But you should understand the law of karma. If you put your finger in fire, it will burn. This is law of karma. Now supposing you say, sir, I am a very good person, but I have put my finger in the fire, it will still burn. You will suffer. Your suffering is not because of goodness, it is because you have put the finger in the fire. Similarly, a bad person, he doesn't put the finger in the fire, then that suffering will not be there for him. Not because he is bad, because he has not put the finger in the fire. So every action has a consequence. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. This is the law of karma. You are a product of the past, and you are also creating your future. So now, when a person goes through some hardships, you have given the example of a disease, let it be any hardship. Is it because of karmic debts? Definitely yes. I think by now you would have got that clarity. If a person is getting something good, is it because of a karmic surplus? Yes. So, why is that person frustrated? Because of lack of this higher wisdom. Once you gain this wisdom, you will not be frustrated because you know the cause and you also have the solution, which is to increase the credits. So you have asked two questions. Is it possible to exactly find what is the karmic debt, the cause for it? Number one. And is sadhana the solution? The answer to both is yes. But that is possible only at an advanced level. See, for example, you take a computer. Now you can open up a folder. There can be a folder within a folder. Many files will be stored. You can go take the exact file. It's like that. Your karmas also are like that. There are some higher practices in the yogic path. But that requires a lot of preparation, and it has to be done under the guidance of a master. That's like performing an operation, Performing an operation on oneself is very dangerous, no? It's like that. So you can pick up, say for example, let's say one particular problem is there. There are some higher meditations one can do and pick up that karmic thread. It may be in this birth, it may be past births also. Pick up that particular folder, see what are the files, there is a karmas which have been performed, and the healing Shakti, the Sanjeevani Shakti can be sent, and those karmas can be burnt. This is possible. That is, when you don't understand this cause and effect, you say, oh, miracle has happened. Even in our healing sessions, empowerment sessions especially, many people have reported that. Sir, I had this issue, maybe a health issue or a financial issue or even health issues, some so-called incurable diseases. Many sadhaks have reported in one empowerment session that has gone. It looks like a miracle, but it's actually not a miracle. There is a cause, there is an effect. If you understand the deeper law which is functioning, then it doesn't surprise you. It will inspire you. So is sadhana the only way? Yes. But there is one small thing which I want to tell you there, a word of caution. There is no point in trying to find out what karma it is and all that. Let it be anything. Our interest is in dissolving those karmas, is in burning up those karmas. Your idea is not to find out what has caused what and do a research on that and write a thesis. I am not going to award you any PhD or anything. That is not our purpose. So, do you really want to know why, or do you want a solution? That is the question. As sadhaks, you should want a solution. So, when you understand the law in general and start doing your sadhana, when you start attending the empowerment program, when you are regular in attending these weekly sessions, in the background, those karmic debts are getting burnt up. That is why you start getting good results, your goals start manifesting. All these things you would have experienced, no? from the health point of view, the health starts improving. Gradually, the whole thing will happen. Those advanced techniques, when the time comes, definitely that can also be taught, but a lot of filtering has to be done for that, because a person has to be prepared. It requires complete surrender, first of all, and a lot of purification. So those things cannot be taught just like that. But you asked me whether it's possible. Definitely yes. Sometimes when the master gives healing, if a person is ready, even without that person's knowledge, he may use certain yogic techniques to transfer some higher Shakti, which will dissolve that karmic file, very fast. And then the sadhak says, oh, this is like a miracle, this has happened. It's all the grace of the higher only. The glory goes to God. So the ultimate answer is just focus on your sadhana. It doesn't matter whether you know what your karmas are or not. And all those things are only for academic purposes. What is important is, are you doing your sadhana properly and burning up those karmas? That's all. Okay, so this wisdom is a solution. All your frustrations will go. Even if you have a lot of issues in life, when you understand these laws, oh, this is the reason why these things are happening to me. I may not know what I have done in the past, but in the background, this law of karma is working. Whether I come to know of all that, no, I'm not concerned. Let me focus in the present. Let me now receive the healing Shakti and use it to create more positivity. When you start functioning like that, real miracles will happen. When the grace of the divine is received, why think about limitations? No, there is no meaning. When Lord Krishna was born, it is said in the Bhagavatam, that moment when he was born, Devaki, Vasudeva, all of them, they were all jailed and tied, it is with chains. The moment Krishna was born, all the chains were broken free. The jail doors, the locks all opened. It's very symbolic. When Krishna represents the infinite. When Krishna is born within you, that infinite, when you take to the path of spirituality, that is the birth, the starting point of divinity. So when that happens within you, instantly all the fetters are broken. Why? Because the credits, the karmic credits are increased. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am getting into a state of total relaxation. Feel and experience the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my body, beyond my emotions, beyond my thoughts, lies my essential self. My higher self is infinite, divine, and auspicious. I am the creator of my destiny. I am the creator of my life.
I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a very powerful and deep session today. These principles
can truly, truly change your life for the better. So you watch all these as many times as you want. See, the best thing would be one Sunday you're watching this, you're absorbing, you're reflecting, writing down your points, you're putting it in the that comments section, which I personally, I look at that, and when I find, see, when you express yourself there, you're offering something. So if I find any energy imbalances, immediately the healing is sent. That's why many of you would have experienced whenever you express something there, many issues also get solved. So that is why that is a very good sadhana. Fortunately, technology is offering that process for you. Now, after that, on a daily basis, you can split the same thing. Every day, you can watch for a while, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, according to your, so that throughout the week, again, you go through this at least once. I'm not talking of merely today's session, but every session. So this way, what will happen is, number one, you will be connected to this higher wisdom on a daily basis. Number two, it will force you to reflect and practice. This is apart from your personal sadhana of Yoga Sanket. Okay, these are all methods by which you can enhance your benefits. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.